We will say good morning. Today is Thursday. It's the 28th of December. It's about 8 a.m. And we start off with a picture of Baden Beit Santa Elena, or Saint Aline. People say it a little differently in different ways. I love going to Santa Elena because it's cut off from the rest of the island. Can't get there by car, got to get there by boat. And it's preserved a very nice community out there. Maybe a little bit like going back in time, no cars. But I absolutely love visiting Santa Elena, and we see a very beautiful sunrise that Matt captured for us over there in the fishing village. So we see some of these cirrus clouds quite often. When you have a cold front coming, you see cirrus clouds, these high wispy clouds coming before it. So let's take a look at where the cold front is this morning. You can see it very well defined on our radar from Miami to Havana and coming through the middle of the Yucatan Peninsula. If I switch over to satellite, then you can see the clouds. So the leading edge of clouds over here, probably 100 miles or so north of us, and then the back end of it over Merida in the northwest Yucatan Peninsula. Let's take a look at winds. That's going to be the big story as we get towards Saturday. Right now we're seeing some westerly winds. Our seas are actually pretty light, around 2 feet from the east, but those will change today. As we get into the afternoon, we'll start to see some northerly winds, 10 to 15 miles an hour, and that'll switch our seas over to the north, probably about 2 feet today, so not too bad this morning or this evening. As we get into tomorrow, we'll see the seas building as we get closer and closer to our higher winds. And you can start to see this wind field. When we get a norther, you get a wind field like this, and it moves south toward us. Now the GFS is a little more conservative on the wind field. The Euro, look at that, it blows it up a little higher. I think the GFS is probably more likely to be accurate, especially when it comes to this wind. It's being a little more conservative so that when we get to Saturday, if I can stick a flag in the middle of the wind field, around 30 miles an hour, whereas the Euro, especially as you get towards Belize, is getting up towards 40 miles an hour. In my experience, some of the models go a little high on the wind predictions, but as we get into the afternoon, the Euro has some of these 40 mile an hour winds coming over us. The Icon, kind of similar, maybe a little less, and the GFS keeps the winds around 30 miles an hour. Those are still pretty strong winds. And our seas, if we go to the sea state, right now we're looking at 2 foot seas. Let's go to now, and we can see them coming from the east, mostly around 2 feet, and this afternoon switching to the north around 2 feet. As we get towards Friday, we start seeing 3 to 4 foot seas, especially on the north side. And then we go to Saturday. This is the dangerous day. Stay off the sea on Saturday. As we get away from the island to our north, 10 foot seas. As we're closer into the island, 7 to 8 foot seas. And on the south side, 4 to 5 foot seas. So this retreats fairly quickly. As we get into Saturday, the seas are back down to 4 to 5 feet. Next week kind of does look windy from the east. Winds switch around on Monday to the easterly winds, and we have seas from the northwest. Around 4 feet on Monday, around 4 feet on Tuesday, and as we get into Wednesday, it's trying to reload 3 to 4 feet. So next week looks kind of breezy from the east and also moderately wavy, 3 to 4 foot seas. Now let's talk about how much rain we're going to get. Let's start with today. The Icon gives us a ½ inch to 1 inch. Most of this rain would come this evening. The GFS about a ½ inch, and the Euro between ½ an inch and 1 inch of rain. You'll notice as we go through the days that as we get this norther setting up, the rain gets stronger as we go towards the coast. As that cold air hits the mountains, it goes up, rain falls down. So that's why the nearer you are to La Ceiba, usually the heavier the rainfall in these northers. So let's go to the day on Friday. In the Euro, 1 inch to 2 inches. In GFS, 1.5 inches, something like that. And the Icon about 2 inches. So that's the day on Friday. So it'll be a day of off and on rain and 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. But here we go with Saturday. This is the day to watch out for. Icon's a little more conservative. Much of the rain further to our south. In GFS, look at those purples. We're talking about 4 inches of rain there towards La Ceiba. A little bit less as you come north, so that means there's a chance that Guanaja gets a little less rain, maybe 1 to 2 inches on Saturday. Chances are better for Utila to get more rain on Saturday. And the Euro, we have 4 to 5 inches, especially for Utila. So we're on the boundary of getting a whole lot of rain. So I would not be surprised to see some areas get 4 to 5 inches on Saturday. That can create localized flooding. So be careful about that. Watch out if you're in an area where you might have some landslides. Let's look at the week ahead so we can see the rain on the GFS building, and then you see on Saturday, you see those yellows and reds. That's heavy rain. Now the GFS is trying to keep some rain lingering into Monday and Tuesday. This would be kind of a chilly light rain. I look for some lows around 70 or 20.5 Celsius Monday morning, maybe Tuesday morning. But then as we go through the middle of the week, things start to clear out. So the middle of next week looks pretty nice. And then we get another smaller norther late next weekend. That would be the weekend of the 7th of January. It's a long ways away, so it's a little early to talk about that. But watch out, especially Saturday. Stay off the sea. Watch for localized flooding. And you guys be careful out there.